Hey there, folks. Eric William here at Genre Blast number 7. If you can believe that, folks, that's right, number 7. And it has been a fantastic weekend. The films are on point as usual. It has been an amazing, amazing weekend here. Cannot thank Nathan and Chad and Raygan for bringing us down here and letting us share in this wonderful, wonderful festival. So I tell you what, we've got a great movie for you tonight. It's Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter. And I say a great movie because there's a lot of stories that go in behind this, the scenes of this movie. So as we bring you the movie, we're going to show you also some behind the scenes stories. Basically, in a sense, if I were able to interview the cast and crew back then, I'm going to give you some of their stories now. And speaking of cast and crews, we've got writers, directors, producers, everything you'd want, composers right here at Genre Blast. We're going to bring you their stories as well. So I tell you what, without further ado, we've got so much Genre Blast here to share with you. We're going to get into Act 1 of Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter. And then right back here for more Genre Blast, right here on Saturday Fright Theater, where every night is a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll be back soon.
Has everyone gone?
Yes, we are the only ones left. Has Juanita returned from the house?
No. She said she would not come back until she saw Francisco and brought him back to us.
That cursed house. Esa maldita casa. Ever since those two came here, there's been nothing but death and sorrow.
Our Francisco, how is he?
I don't know, Mama. They will not let me see.
But why?
They say he has the sickness.
Dios mío de mi vida, Virgen Santa, Virgen Santa.
Why? Why must we lose our sons and brothers to them?
Perhaps it is God's will.
God's will. God's will. Was it God's will that Agustin Rojas should die? And that other boy, Jose Alvarez? No. I say no. It's because of them.
You speak in anger, Juanita. The children became ill. El Patron and his sister, both great doctors, could not save them.
They became ill only after they went to work in that awful place. And why were they buried at night? So we could not see them. To give them a Christian burial. Why? Why?
You know why. They told us the children died of some strange contagious disease and had to be buried at once.
What shall we do now?
We cannot go without Francisco. We must wait and pray. I don't know what else to do.
Another wonderful storm. I congratulate you, dear brother. You were correct in choosing this wild land.
It was not I. It was Professor von Metzler who said in southwest part of America, you'll find these electrical storms you need for your experiments.
Modest, Rudolph. You never do take any credit for what you do.
I want no credit for these terrible things we are doing here, Maria. All I want is to go back to Vienna.
Vienna. We will not see an electrical storm there in months. But here the very gods conspire to give them to us all the time. Well, we go to work. In a moment we shall know if we have succeeded. Quick, prepare the injection of digitalis. Hurry up with the digitalis. You took long enough. One would think you did not want him to live. He's dead. What a fool I've been. I've allowed the duothermic impulsator to be attached only to the body. Let's see what Grandfather's notation says. You see? The duothermic impulsator must also be attached to a living brain to transmit living vibrations to the artificial brain.
But such a powerful electric impulse might prove fatal to the brain of a living person.
That chance I am willing to take. It's because we've been forced to use the brains of children that we've failed. What we need is a man, a powerful man, a giant. Then we shall succeed.
But what good will it do to succeed?
Imagine, we'll have someone to do our bidding who can't be put to death. Just as we have given it life, only we can take its life away.
Maria, we have already caused the death of 3 children and violated the graves of others just to make the experiments.
My, you're a humanitarian. You should have stayed in Europe and given pink pills to sweet old ladies. this is the last artificial brain Grandfather Frankenstein made. The secret of how to make these died with him. If I fail in this last attempt, I too am willing to die.
Is it so terrible to fail?
You're a fool, Rudolph. We hold the secret of life in our hands.
Maria, this has already cost Grandfather his life. And Father has never...
Father was a weakling. He dared not try the experiments, only on paper. You know, Rudolph, sometimes I think you remind me of Father.
What do you want to do next? There's no one else left to experiment on. This boy was the last. And his sister Juanita was here demanding to see him.
What did you tell her?
The same as the others, that the boy has a highly contagious disease and cannot be seen.
Good. These peasants are ignorant and superstitious. We have nothing to fear from them.
When the Lopez family finds out that Francisco is dead, they will leave, like the others. We'll be alone, all alone in this wilderness, in this... I can't stand.
Everything is just right here. The isolation, the electrical storms for the energy we need. I know you want to leave. Well, you can't. Where would you go? Vienna? The police are looking for us there. They did not understand our work any better than these peasants. Rudolph! We are safer here than anywhere else. Now that I know what is wrong, somehow I will find the right man to withstand the shock of my experiments. He must be big and strong as a giant.
This is the time, Stacy. Stacy, get up. Get up, Stacy.
Hank, you better win this. We're stone broke.
What makes you think I'm losing, Jesse?
Well, that's that.
Nobody's beaten Stacy since I bought this saloon. That's over 10 years ago.
There's always the first time. I'll take that bet money now.
Not so fast. Not so fast. I could have the sheriff lock you two up for disturbing the peace, but I'll make you a deal. Leave town and I won't press charges.
You better pay up, mister.
Why should I?
Well, for one thing, I beat your man fair and square, I did. For another thing, we need the money real bad. And for another thing, the man you're holding out on is Jesse James.
I heard that Jesse James was killed up at Northridge.
There are a lot of folks who think that the James boys were wiped out. Well, I'm Jesse, all right. And there's only one way to prove it. I'll take that bet money. No hard feelings. You see, we weren't all killed at Northridge. We've sure been on the run ever since, though. That makes a man hungry. Why, Hank and I haven't had anything to eat since, when was the last time we ate, Hank?
It's been one whole day, but seems more like a month.
Hank would have taken your man a lot easier if he'd had his full strength. Now, ain't that right, Hank?
Yep. How about that steak now?
Now, that's an idea. And we'll pay for it with your money.
And I say you had no right to call in Jesse James and his boys. This was our deal. My deal, if you come right down to it. This was that big killing you've always been telling me about. You know, the one you've never been able to come up with? And now you tell me we ought to split it with Jesse James.
If you weren't my brother, I'd really work you over.
Do you think we can pull this deal ourselves, the two of us have feet out there? Well, at least you could have talked it over with me first.
I'm the leader of the Wild Bunch. I ain't talking nothing over with nobody. And if you don't like it, get out.
Just the same, my share is going to be 1/3. And you can cut up the rest between you and Jesse James any way you want to, but
your share is going to be exactly what I say it is. No more, no less. That's Pete's signal. You must be Jesse James.
Mm-hmm.
That Hank Tracy?
And you'd be Butch Curry, head man of the Wild Bunch.
That's right. Come on in, Jesse.
Hey there, folks. Eric William here at Genre Blast 7. And I tell you what, it has been a fantastic weekend. And we're only on Friday, folks. I've got a wonderful writer, director, producer here with us, Diana. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. For the folks that weren't lucky enough to be here this weekend, introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about what brought you out here to Genre Blast.
I'm Diana Porter. I am the director and star of a movie called Subscribed that was written, shot, and edited by the amazing Michael Whistler. It's a great little sci-fi film about a woman who is at home, alone, kind of trapped in her apartment with her Alexa, but it's not an Alexa, it's Vicky. Sorry. It's definitely not an Alexa. Definitely not. But yeah, it talks about a lot about isolation, about privacy, and a lot of comment on what's going on today.
I was going to say, it sounds very topical, very, I would say, what was some of the, like, as far as the motivations on writing something like this, getting involved in something like this? Was it something that you were just attracted to because of the material, or was it something that you got involved with because of friendships, or what brought you into the production?
Well, Michael and I have been working together for around 10 years now. Okay. And he sent me what was originally a short story and said, I'm thinking about adapting this. And I said, oh, you definitely should. Okay. It spoke to me on so many levels. I used to work in data analytics. Oh boy. And so, yes. Knowing the amount of data that any company has on everyone, right, can be a little disturbing, and this film definitely spoke to that. So he asked me to star in the film first, okay, and then he asked me to also direct it. Oh boy. And I said he was a big jerk for making me do both. But it was during the pandemic when things were mostly shut down, so we had a very small crew. We were in one apartment all together, all masked other than me, and it worked out great for that situation. It was the perfect script.
Wow. Well, and I was going to say, if there was a time that would have, behooved the production for something like that, that was it. I mean, that's, and a lot of people I think found, writing and being able to, one location, one shot, it really focused a lot of people into that realm. So tell us a little bit, I guess, now, writing or directing it and acting in it, how did that come? I mean, obviously, it's a smaller production, it's independent films, it's a short, but how do you get into the mindset of directing and acting in it?
It was difficult, definitely. And part of what I did was the other actors that are in it. One is the voiceover artist, Michelle Plagna, and I directed her off set. And then another, Kevin, who plays my husband, I also directed him because it was all recorded phone calls, Zoom calls, things like that. So I didn't have to direct my scene partners, which was good.
Yeah.
But on set, I gave myself the gift of a very wonderful assistant director, and I also had Michael there because he was shooting it, and he has directed me in other things. So I had them sort of as my backup if I needed to ask for opinions, and they could also tell me, Diana, you've got it. You don't need another take, even though you may feel like it. You don't. We can move on.
That would be, yes.
Yes.
So, yeah. That was...
But it was a challenge going back and forth, and there were times where we would set up the shot, I would be directing all of that sort of stuff, and then I would sit down on the bed or wherever and then be like, wait, what are we doing?
Right? Yeah.
What's my first line? What? And I would have to take a minute to get back into the character and into the scene.
So, and you mentioned it, and I was just going to bring it up, having that assistant director, a good AD, especially when you're acting and directing, having somebody that you can lean on. How did you come about finding your assistant director? Was it obviously somebody that you've worked with before in the past? I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Andrea Willanen. We've worked together on a number of projects now. We met years ago on a film directed by Skip Shea. And then she cast me in some things, and we were we read each other's scripts and just support each other, as all indie filmmakers need other indie filmmakers. And she's a wonderful director and producer all on her own. She helped produce my first film. And she has done production as her full-time job. So she has all of the skills that maybe I'm not so great at, and she is wonderful at the very gentle. So we're about 15 minutes behind schedule, which is sometimes a lie, I think. Sometimes she's saying that because we will be if I do what I'm thinking about doing, which is a bad idea. But she has that diplomacy that every assistant director needs. She never has to raise her voice. She thinks ahead of time about what needs to happen. And she gives me the confidence and the knowledge to do what needs to be done.
Wow. That's just kind of leads to that whole, relationships build, and having somebody like that, like you said, I like the whole, we're about 15 minutes behind, but are we really? That's, especially, I'm guilty of it too. So because if I do what I'm thinking, we'll be more than 15 minutes behind. But so as far as the festival runs, is this something that's just now starting or almost ending? Where are you as far as festival runs with this?
We're around the middle.
Okay.
We're definitely around the middle. We've played some other fantastic festivals at London Sci-Fi.
Oh, wow.
It was amazing, and I got to go to that one.
Oh, that's
my first time in London. I had an amazing time. It was great. The Long Island International Film Expo also, which I grew up on Long Island, so it was a bit of a homecoming, and a lot of my family came out.
Nice.
But we're about to play in the Shawn O'Shea Film Festival and the Scene Film Festival, which are both in New England, which I currently live in the Boston area. So
that's convenience.
Yeah.
So for the folks that, again, aren't lucky enough to be here this weekend or lucky enough to be at one of the upcoming festivals, how can they find out more about the film and more about you as far as that goes? What do we have out there? Website, social media, what do they got?
Well, I have a website, dianaporter.com, so that's pretty simple. And on social media, I'm always Diana M. Porter, so that also makes it pretty simple.
Okay. And then, I tell you what, before I let you go, do you have anything that you're working on that you want to give us a little tease to, if you're able to, before we let you go?
Yeah, I have a film in post-production right now called Cup of Tea, which is much more in the horror genre. So be looking out for that one.
All right, we'll make sure. Diana, thank you so much for joining us on here. We're going to get you back to Genre Blast. I know there's a movie coming up here soon, so let's get into that. And folks, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Saturday Fright Theater, where every night is a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll see you next time.
This is Jesse James. It's my brother Lonnie.
Lonnie?
Pete Ketchum, our lookout.
Pete? It's Hank Tracy. Yeah. Lonnie?
Hi.
Pete. Hi.
Well, this is the bunch. We got hit at St. Joe, Liberty, and Little Blue. We lost 11 men in all.
I can't hardly believe the famous Wild Bunch is down to 3 men.
I don't think the James boys are doing much better. Frank James hiding out in Kentucky as a preacher. And I hear the real Jesse James was shot to death.
James, everybody is trying to make me a corpse. Well, I don't like it. You trying to make me a liar?
No harm. No harm at all. It's just that there's a lot of four-flushers around here that's claiming to be Jesse James.
Now, we didn't come here for any trouble. We came here to do a little job with you boys. I'm sorry, Lonnie, but you've just backed yourself into a corner.
Take it easy, Jesse. He'll be all right when he sobers up. Now, to tell you the truth, Jesse, I figured you'd have more men. I didn't know that you were down to Hank and yourself. But I still think we got enough to pull this. And I think you'll agree that it's worth it when I tell you what it is. Have a seat. Now, on the way here, you pass through the Paseo del Norte. Do you know it?
Yeah, narrow cut about 30 miles out of Bisbee.
Well, we're going to take delivery of $100,000 there.
$100,000?
I thought you'd like the idea.
It's an awful lot of money. You sure?
Lonnie's sparking a girl that works at the bank. And when the bank gets fat to the tune of $100,000, they transfer it to Fort Buchanan. And later on, it's sent back east by the Army supply train. Right, Lonnie?
That's right. My word has always been good enough for the Wild Bunch, Mr. James.
No harm. No harm. That's an awful lot of money in one place at one time.
Jesse and me have looked down many a gun barrel for a lot less than that. Hey, Jesse?
Right, Hank. Seems to me anybody shipping that much money through a narrow pass would figure that's a natural place for a holdup.
That's the way the bank figures it, too. And that's why they send their stagecoach on through the pass with passengers and no money as a decoy.
Decoy?
That's right. When the first stagecoach gets through, they signal a second stagecoach that's all is clear. That's the one we'll be waiting for, with the money and no passengers. Simple and sweet, ain't it? What's the matter? Don't you like it?
That's too simple. What's the hitch?
No hitch. The second coach has only a driver and a shotgun. We'll hit them so fast they won't know what happened. I'd still like it better if we had more men, but I think we got enough to do it. Are you game? Want to try it?
You know me, Jesse. Whatever you say.
What's the split?
Well, there's 5 of us. We'll split
Butch.
it. We'll split it 5 ways.
Well, I didn't ride 300 miles for my health.
The deal.
Marshal, I tell you, I know that's Jesse James. I made sure of that. So you get Jesse, and I get the $10,000 reward, dead or alive.
How do I know you're not sending us right into a trap?
Well, I'm riding right there with him, ain't I? If I was lying to you, it'd be easy enough for you to pick me off. Besides, I'm going straight.
Well, I can't afford not to go along with you, but let me tell you one thing. If you want to collect that reward, you better make sure you stay out of the line of fire.
Marshal, I tell you, I'm going straight. Now, all you got to do is tell your men that I'm on your side. Well, I guess I better be getting back to the boys. They might start to miss me. We wouldn't want that to happen, would we, Marshal? Well, we got a deal.
Now, you men know what to do. But I don't want anybody getting trigger happy because one of them happens to be Jesse James. Now, let's spread out and get up high. You 2 men take this side. Andy, we'll take this side and the horses. Let's go.
All right, Jesse, this is it. Now remember, after the first coach gets through, they fire 2 shots. That's a signal for the second coach to come on. You got it? You and Hank take that side. We'll take this side.
What's the matter, Lonnie? You seem nervous. Something bothering you?
Just what are you driving at?
All right, you two, knock it off, knock it off. We're all a little edgy. Come on. Lonnie! Get ready, boys. First coach is coming.
That's the first one. That's the signal. Here she comes now, Jesse.
Get ready. Here she comes.
How about it, Jesse? You haven't got a chance.
Let's get out of here.
Well, that's the end of the Wild Bunch.
Ain't he one of them?
Lonnie? He tells me he's going straight.
Sure I am. You saw me. Didn't I try to help you get Jesse James?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you did at that. Want to thank you, men. Now you better get back your jobs and your homes.
What about you?
My job's going after those two. And I can't say I like it very much either.
I'm going with you, Marshal.
You want that reward pretty bad, don't you, Lonnie?
Yeah, I want that 10,000. But I want to see Jesse James' eyes looking right at me when I shoot him.
I never figured you'd try to shoot Jesse James from the front, Lonnie. All right, let's get these 2 men in the stagecoach. Get them back in town.
You guys give me a hand. Hold it here.
I'll be all right. Won't it, Jesse?
Sure you will. Well, I'll just rest here a while and we'll move on.
Señor, no tenemos nada que nos lleve. Somos pobres. No nos haga daño.
We have nothing. Nothing.
I don't mean you know, huh?
Oh, bueno. Buenas noches, señor.
Buenas noches. ¿Habla inglés?
Poquito.
He speaks a little bit.
Well, my friend's sick. I wonder if you'd mind if we'd rest with you a spell.
Sí, señor. ¿Cómo no?
Gracias.
¿Quién será?
Pues no sé.
¿Quién puede
Yo tengo
traer esta
miedo.
noche?
Por
No,
favor,
hija,
por
no.
favor, tengo
Espérate
miedo.
a ver quién viene.
Régale a Dios
¿Quién
que
es?
no sea nadie mal.
He's been shot.
Well, he was cleaning his gun.
Here, let me help you. Dip this into the hot water. Right over there. The bullet must come out.
I know it.
There's a doctor in Prescott.
Well, we can't go into Prescott. We can't go into any town.
I understand. I knew what you were when you first came into camp. Your friend is dying.
Dying?
The wound is very bad. Very bad. I will take him to the doctors.
Where?
Do not worry. You will be safe.
Thanks. Thanks very much.
The man is dying. I'm taking him back to the doctors at the mission.
No, my child. You must not go back to them.
But I have to. I can let him die.
And if you go there, something terrible will happen to you.
I'm not afraid.
I say you are not to go back. I forbid it.
But, Papa...
I forbid it.
We must wait a while. We can go now.
Hank? Can you walk?
Yeah. Hey, you.
Senor,
Senor, do you speak English?
a little?
We've been following two men. One's a big man. He's been wounded. Do you understand? Comprehenda?
Sí, senor.
Well, did you see them?
No, senor.
Marshal.
So you didn't see anybody, huh? Marshal? Take a look at these.
Could have been them.
I got a hunch they were here. Well, folks say Jesse James steals from the rich and gives to the poor. Adios, senor.
You're lying. You're lying to us. They were here and you helped them get away. I ought to kill you.
Let him alone.
Juanita, she went away with them in the night. We must go after her.
No. When Francisco died, I swore that I would go away and never come back. And I will not. Not even for Juanita.
Then I will go back without you.
You will be lost in 5 minutes. You will do as I say, as Juanita should have done.
Hey there, folks. Eric William here, out here at Genre Blast, and I have one of the best filmmakers, directors. Literally, I could go on and on and on, man. I tell you what, with Genre Blast, it wouldn't be Genre Blast without you. Honest to God.
Thank you.
And Gouge Away played Saturday night.
Yes.
It was one of the, I tell you what, it's got, I'm sure, some interesting stories behind it. So, one of my favorites this weekend. It was a perfect midnight feature here at Genre Blast. It fits in with everything that's going on here at Genre Blast. So I tell you what, you found me going on and on and on. For the folks that aren't lucky enough to be here, to have met you, introduce yourself and tell them what brought you out here to Genre Blast this year.
My name is Jeff Frumess, and I'm here because I finished this film called Gouge Away. As you said, it played at midnight, and it was so exhilarating to see my own film at the Alamo Drafthouse. I love the Alamo Drafthouse, so it was awesome. It was really awesome.
You talked a little bit about what it took to bring Gouge Away, to life. Yeah. Tell us a little bit. Honestly, let's start with the three people that never quit. I tell you what, that really hit me hard. Let's give them a shout out. Tell the folks out there a little bit about that.
So my grandmother, who loved to act in my stuff, she was 92. We unfortunately lost some of our cast. My Nana was the first one, and then Dave Street, who plays Uncle Elmo, he was also Uncle Elmo in my first feature. He also passed away, and then about less than a month ago, a few weeks ago, we lost Greg the bank robber Anderson, who played Uncle Greggy the gangster. And there is the theme of the movie. There's a lot of themes running through the movie that sort of run parallel with the making of the movie, and one of them is just not giving up. And it's funny how the three people who passed away were all three people who had to persevere through very hard trials and tribulations in various different ways, and they all, Greg died suddenly, but Dave Street and my Nana, they went out on their own terms. They and it was just after having very close calls with death a few months before their actual death, and to crawl your way back from death and then die on your own terms is the greatest victory. Because the thing is, we're all going, it's inevitable. Death is a part of life. But so they were always, their time was always up, but they didn't let it be right then and there at the worst possible moment. They waited. They were able to pull back and get there. And so I had to dedicate the film to all three of them. And,
I tell you what, and like you said, the parallels of not giving up in this, showing them at the end of that, and then the theme of the movie, literally. Your actor was Matt. Is absolutely amazing.
Awesome dude.
I got to give credit to him. I'm hoping I have him on the show here a little bit later.
Sure,
we had him on last year. He's over there somewhere. I know you all have worked together before in the past. Talk a little bit about maybe him and his journey through this process, and what led you to bringing him into this role.
So the footage with my grandmother was actually part of the film that we started making before the pandemic in 2020. We shot 20% of the movie March 8th, and March 12th is when everything shut down.
Right.
Matt did a little cameo with my grandmother. That was going to be the movie within the movie.
Right.
And when the film died, we needed to sort of figure out how we could continue the story. without the principal cast, because they weren't able to commit to what they had committed years prior. Things had changed. A lot of things had changed. And so bringing Matt in made a lot of sense, considering that we took the movie within the movie and then pulled it out and actually made that the continuation of the story.
Right.
And so Matt went from just being like a assistant sort of production person to he's an actor to the star of the film, and he's there. I mean, the audience is he's the avatar for the audience. The audience experiences everything through Matt or Tony, his character, as he tries to unravel this mystery that is concocted as a result of the production, the reality of trying the obstacles with the production.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's shot beautifully. Number one, I love the way you were able to piece everything together, bring it, especially after you learn about the story about how this movie had to come together. Fantastic job. There's actually a couple of scenes there's a chase scene, a foot chase scene.
Yes.
That I have to ask. All right, tell us. There's got to be stories behind this, because it's literally, folks. I don't want to give away, but there's Matt Antonia's character is chasing.
Yeah, you can give it away.
It's phenomenal. He's like he goes up to the the white
hot dog.
That's it, the white hot dog. I knew. Yes. May have been beverages involved last night, but yeah, he goes up to the white hot dog. He's in a kimono. It's the boxers, and the chase starts, and it literally goes all over the city. Tell us a little bit about that filming scene, because it's amazing. I laughed probably way too hard at that.
No, that's good. No, so the idea was, if you've ever seen Boogie Nights, Alfred Molina in the silk kimono.
Yes.
And Chris, who plays the white hot dog, he's like, I have a silk kimono, and I was like, because originally I just wanted him to run in his boxers, and he was willing to do it, but he said, I have a silk kimono. I said, bring the kimono.
Right.
So we just guerrilla style ran through the city. We ran through the White Plains Mall, which was currently demolished. So the White Plains Mall is another.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah. Like, was that like just
It's just an old derelict '70s mall that I knew was going to be demolished, and I said, let's get in here and just shoot in here while we still can. And now it doesn't exist anymore. So it's preserved in the movie.
In the movie, right.
And yeah, we just wanted to do a fun, a fun sort of chase scene. We also went to another mall. We got we were running away from the security who was chasing after us, and as you do in micro budget world.
Right.
So,
yeah. Oh, but I tell you what, there's so much more. I mean, it's Gouge Away, folks, is phenomenal. I love the fact that it's screened here. Where can they find out more about it as far as social media right now? Do you have websites? Do you have Facebook pages? What do you have out there that they can find out more about it?
So you can find out more about Gouge Away via, just go to youtube.com/Frumess, Frumess, youtube.com/Frumess. That's my YouTube channel. I'm on there all the time with YouTuber, and I'll be posting updates about that. There's also a Facebook page. Just look for Gouge Away, or go to Frumess.com. Same thing, FRUMESS.com. Eric, I want to thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And before I let you go, I would be remiss if I don't ask you, because, like I said, you've brought stuff to Genre Blast year after year after year, and it's been phenomenal. What do you got in the can right now? What's next? What have you got? Are you thinking next, or are you still focused on Gouge Away?
I have to do some, because we delivered the film, the color grade was finished like hours before it played. I mean, literally, about 24 hours before it played, I finished color grading. I lost my color grade. A lot of technical issues. Had to regrade the film in 24 hours. I saw a lot of mistakes that nobody really seems to notice. I noticed them.
You noticed, right.
I have to go back, I have to fix them, but my eyes are bleeding. I want to put the movie to bed. I actually do think I know what my next feature is going to be. I need to let the dust settle, and then I will start formulating. But let's just say it's sort of Pet Sematary meets Frankenstein meets Little Shop of Horrors in black and white. Maybe.
I tell you what, even if it's not, you hooked me. You hooked me. Well, Jeff, I thank you so much. We're going to let you get back to Genre Blast, brother. Thank you so much. And folks, we're going to get you back to the movie right here on Saturday, Fright Theater, where every night is a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll be back soon.
How do you feel, senor? I'll cook you some broth. If Jesse is looking, bring us something to eat. I'll bring you some water.
Where's Juanita? I told her to stay here. Juanita? Juanita?
Look out, Jesse! Jesse. You saved my life, Jesse. Up there. That is the place I told you about. There's where the doctors are. This is our home. I wait here.
You know how to use one of these?
Yes.
Help me brighten, Juanita.
I'm not. Now that you're here, I'll be waiting for you.
Who is it?
We want to see the doctor. We want to see the doctor. My friend is badly hurt.
Who sent you to us?
A girl by the name of Juanita.
Juanita? She back here?
Yes, come on, you're wasting time.
Just a minute. Maria. Maria.
What is it, Rudolph?
2 men. They are looking for a doctor. Perhaps it's the police.
Police here? Hundreds of miles from nowhere? You're a fool.
The girl Juanita is back. She brought them here.
And you're afraid of an ignorant girl? I shall take care of it. Come in. What happened?
You're the doctor?
Yes. My brother and I are both doctors. What happened?
Well, he shot himself cleaning his gun.
We will be glad to help your friend, won't we, Rudolph?
Maria, I believe that...
Rudolph, the laboratory. This way. Take him in there. Put him on the table.
The man's story is obviously a false one.
So much the better. They must be running from the law. Why else would they seek us out? Heaven sent them to us.
Heaven?
Please wait in the hall while we examine the patient.
All right, I'd like to take care of the horses anyway.
If you put them in the lower stable, they will be well hidden there.
I'll be right back.
Jesse. Jesse.
Whom are you calling?
Jesse. James. Don't let him leave me.
Jesse James. Rudolph, it's even better than I thought. The one outside is Jesse James. The whole countryside must be looking for these two. Perfect, Rudolph, perfect. I have plans for them both.
This wound is bad. Festering.
It is nothing. He is strong as a giant. What a brute he'll make.
Howdy, ma'am. I'm Marshal McPhee. We've been trailing 2 men. Did they stop here?
2 men?
Yes, one of them was wounded.
Oh, no. They're not here.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll come in and look around.
I told you they weren't here.
I'm sorry to bother you, ma'am.
Your friend is very sick, Mr.
Howard.
Ah, yes. Mr. Howard. He has a very high temperature, but my brother is an excellent doctor. Mm-hmm. Won't you come to the library? I want to talk to you. Please sit down, Mr. Howard. Did Juanita tell you some terrible tales about us?
Why did you say that?
Well, what did she tell you?
Nothing. We ran into the Lopez family, and Juanita offered to bring us to a doctor.
Nothing else?
Should she have told us something else?
No, I suppose not. Perhaps you're wondering why we live in this old abandoned mission. The answer is quite simple. My brother and I came here from Europe. We are scientists, perhaps ahead of our time. Our experiments were not always understood or appreciated in our own country, so we had to leave. Finally, we came here. When I realized that out here my brother and I could stop from running, I took possession of this old mission and fixed it up for our work.
Well, I must say it's different. I mean, making a home out of a monastery. Sort of lonesome, I should think.
It has its compensations. Won't you join me? Help yourself.
Well, thanks. It's been a long time since we stopped to eat.
Yes, gentlemen.
Howdy, ma'am. I'm Marshal McPhee. We're trailing 2 outlaws.
Outlaws?
Oh, don't be frightened. They're not the type to hurt women. Besides, one of them's badly hurt.
And who are these outlaws?
One's Jesse James, the other's Hank Tracy.
Well, my brother and I have neither seen nor heard anyone today. But if we do, we shall send word to you.
Thank you.
Where will you be?
Well, I have a feeling they're holding up in this area someplace, so I think we'll spend a few days in Shelby.
Very well.
Thank you.
Just the marshal looking for some outlaws.
Oh, did he say who they were?
No, Mr. Howard. While my brother is taking care of your friend, I hope you will decide to stay here with us.
Well, thanks. Well, I'd like that.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I will see if I can help my brother. How is he?
Lost a lot of blood.
He looks all right to me. I intend to use him in my next experiment.
Maria, please stop this terrible experiment. We'll have another death on our conscience.
Don't be an imbecile. If I turned him over to the marshal, he'd be hanged anyway. So what has he got to lose? Now go get that girl, Juanita, to help you. Remember, he must stay alive.
I think it's a mistake to bring her into this house.
Let it be my mistake, then. But get her here where I can keep an eye on her. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
How do you feel this morning?
Pretty good. You've been awful good to me, Juanita.
Hardly anybody's been that good. Except maybe Jesse. I can't thank you enough.
I don't do this because I want thanks.
Juanita, when I get well and Jesse and I leave, will you go with us?
No. I must stay here. Someday, when the Frankensteins leave, my people will come back.
You must be wrong about them, Juanita. Look how good they're treating me.
Perhaps. But out there in the graveyard, I see my brother's grave. No. My place is here.
Then I'll stay here with you.
Oh, no. You mustn't. I won't let you. As soon as you get well, you must go.
But Juanita...
No. No.
Juanita...
Hey there, folks. Eric William here out at Genre Blast 7, and I tell you what, I've got another amazing actor. Been on the show, and Matt, thanks you so much for joining us again.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I tell you what, Gouge Away, dude, amazing.
Awesome.
It was, you made me believe that you were a male prostitute once upon a time. Now you made me believe that you're a badass hitman, that can just do anything once the lights are out.
Want that range,
That is some range. I mean, I tell you what.
Important to me.
I tell you what, for the folks out there that weren't lucky enough to be here this weekend or even last year at Genre Blast, introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about what brought you out here.
Well, my name is Matthew Ritacco. Last year we had a short in the festival, same director, and he was the midnight. He directed a segment of the midnight movie last year as well, and we were one of the shorts right before that. This year we were the Saturday midnight movie. So Gouge Away, I'm the lead actor in it. Originally, I was just going to be the AD. I was going to have a cameo in it. We were there was a scene that we did in 2019, which was like a funny gag that his grandma's in, and that was going to be the movie within the movie. Yeah, that was going to be on the TV in the background, and we had I was ADing for him, and we had filmed about a quarter of it on March 7th and March 8th of 2020, and. Yes, less than a week later, the world exploded, and then almost a year later, by December, that was when we shot the Green Hole, which was last year. That was, and around then, that was when we're looking at each other, and it's like, okay, this didn't wrap up in 2 months. We got to come up with a plan. And then by the next June, and 6 months later, him and I had rewritten the movie. Now I'm the star, and when he told me that, I was like, let's go. Why not? And we didn't really have a script. I would go to his. We lived 10 minutes away from each other. We'd meet up. We would come up with how are we going to use the footage that we did. What is the character that we're going to have me play? How are we going to piece it together? I think we had started shooting the movie as it was, like the story that it is now. Yeah. I think we didn't even have the ending yet. And we're like, okay, well, he's going to interact with this guy, and then we'll figure the rest out later. So it was 2 years of a lot of uncertainty, and then we finished. The last shooting day was July 12th.
Oh wow!
So it hasn't even been 2 months. He finished all the color correction Thursday night.
I was going to say, he said it was right before he got here.
The day before they left. I came down on Wednesday, and they came down on Friday, and he had the cut with him. And what's crazy is I got to give it up to a lot of the other people that had a lot of great movies in the festival, because that we were not unique in that. There was a couple people that, oh man, they came with a hard drive. Yeah. They came, or they sent it in the week of, the day of. I think something that's playing today.
Yeah, literally. There's something.
Was Johnny Z? I think the same thing. Like literally. They finished that while they were here, and it's like, oh my god,
it's insane.
That's how you know. That's how you know this is a good place.
Well, and that's the best part about it. Yeah.
Everybody wanted to get everyone. They were working for it.
I tell you what, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you. How did you prepare once you found out? Obviously, you're going to be the lead, and there's no script. All this. How did you? I mean, you were very convincing.
Thank you.
It was an amazing performance, as usual. But I mean, literally, as an actor, how do you get into something like that? Like normally, we've talked with actors and directors in the past, where they take their time, they get into that role. Here you are, you're thrown into it, man. It's like, tell us a little bit about that and your story behind it.
Well, a lot of it, the way I can really sum it up, which is going to take forever as usual. Here we are.
Here we are.
With the segment that we did, that was just going to be the movie within the movie with Jeff's grandma, who passed away. She's 92 years old. I'm so happy I'm in her last scene. She's hilarious.
That's phenomenal.
How funny is she in that scene?
I can't. I don't even have words. I laughed. I was to the point where I didn't have sound.
So with that, that was just a skit that we were gonna multi-purpose with it, and going in, the mentality there was she's just gonna go on a tirade. She's gonna say all this crazy stuff, and you just gotta play it serious.
Yeah.
So that was the little seed that kept going. The scene that we shot first, once we rewrote everything, was the scene with the guy Bones, the drug dealer.
Daddy, yeah.
And he was another one where he was very zany, very out there, and I knew I was going to play it straight. A very, very dark, troubled past type situation. So it all kind of snowballed from there. And another big thing that went into it for my mentality was, I'm used to doing a little more lighthearted, or at least a little more comedy. I get college humor type is how I've really described it. So for me, this was okay, you got to do something different, bring something new to the table.
Okay.
And the way I always describe it, everybody loves Terminator 2.
Yeah.
But what I don't think Arnold gets the credit for is playing like that stoic, not cracking a smile character. That is harder than it looks without looking like a cornball. It's hard to pull it off.
Right.
To do it and be actually cool in the movie, or realistic, or something, without seeming like you're just being cheesy.
Right.
So that, to me, that was all right, let me do this. I want to bring something to the table I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
So that was from jump of, now you're the main character. Okay, I'm not cracking one smile.
Dude,
I'm not telling any jokes. I want to be top to bottom very serious. And I am, watching it last night, you're sitting there after 2 years, and I'm very critical. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. And then it's over, and you take the inhale, and people are coming up and talking to me and saying a lot of very genuine things, including yourself. It's just like, oh, dude, mission accomplished. We did it.
And to hear that now coming out of you, it translated, and you nailed it. I mean, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, man, how are you going through some of these scenes just like a straight man? I mean, I just couldn't.
And everybody is so ridiculous. By the time we did and then
I don't want to give away the ending, but literally by the time you get to that point, I'm like, and you're still carrying it.
Yeah,
you're still carrying it.
No, I don't break the whole time.
No breaking, man. It was.
And he, Jeff is very big on not showing actors the footage.
Right.
But,
oh my.
He knows I do editing professionally. I wrote a lot of the story with him. And I also hit him with I think we blew it the other day. We got to reshoot all that. And he goes, no, it's good. I'm like, no, it sucks. And then he goes, all right, come over and watch it. Like, God damn it, watch the movie. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching. I'm like, oh, okay, no, we got it. We're good. Yeah,
awesome.
And once we got our third shoot day in, that was the two other people that passed away, Dave Street, Greg the bank robber, two other great characters in
100%.
When we did the scene with Dave, that was when it really hit me, because now we had the scene with his grandma, we had the Bones scene, we had the scene with Dave, and it's like, oh my God, everyone's just nuts. They're all just the zaniest characters. And that was what we carried throughout the rest of it. It's like, everyone's got to be wacky.
And that's what it was, such a yin-yang kind of amazing character performance.
It's a lot of, and the funny way I would try to describe it to friends of mine is kind of like, not carbon copy, obviously, but kind of like a Seinfeld format.
Okay.
Where you have Jerry in the middle. Yep. And what nut job does he have to interact with in this episode?
No, that's perfect.
And
that's
great. Virtually every scene is, what oddball do I have to bounce off of and try to keep it together? And you see in the we have and this doesn't spoil anything either, but in the in the credits we have some outtakes of the three people that have passed, and what you don't see, because the camera's on Jeff's grandma when we're doing that scene, she's and I'm crying in that scene, reacting to her.
Right.
But when we're shooting her, I've tried. You see her in the outtake just lose it, because I'm sitting there like this. Cause I wasn't expecting any of that. He told me she will do it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting half of what she did.
Oh my God!
So it was a blast.
It's phenomenal. I mean,
Thank
honestly.
you.
So I tell you what, I won't keep you much longer because I know awards are right around the corner here. Matt, where can we find you next? What do you have? YouTube, Facebook? What social medias? What do you got out there?
Here's what we got. You can find me just about anywhere under the name Matthew Ritacco, Ritacco. Basically anything through Jeff. I'm sure he gave you all the goodies. We have what we have coming up. We got 2 things coming up that are on the low right now, more or less. I have. I'll plug the thing I told you about last year.
Yeah.
We literally are shooting that in less than 2 weeks.
No kid.
When I came down on Wednesday, I drove to North Carolina to pick up the camera equipment. My cinematographer lives there, and I was like, dude, meet me by Roanoke.
Right.
I'm gonna be in the area. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And it's called The Last Temptation of Slice.
Oh.
It's about a Faustian deal in a pizza place. And it took us it was a long Saturday coming up with that title, and once we got it, it was like, oh, that's it. And another thing, I haven't spoken to anyone. I'm going to give you guys the exclusive.
Okay.
I haven't spoken to anyone here. Jeff doesn't know about this. I haven't spoken to anybody about this yet.
Nice.
Right now, the immediate plan afterward, because we're doing this, the slice, we got one actual name actor in it.
Yeah.
I cannot name on the internet just yet because they'll pull out. I can't name them yet.
Nope.
I'm working on another one. If I get this other one, you guys are going to lose your minds if you see him next year. We're doing that in September, October. So Last Temptation Slice, and another thing that we have coming out that I'm kind of coming in to make it a feature. They made a video. I'm going to make a feature out of it. I don't even have a title yet. We're doing a documentary about backyard wrestling.
Dude.
Yeah. Which I've been wanting to do a documentary feature for forever.
Awesome.
No one knows about that one yet either. If you're watching this, you're the first to find out about it.
I'm so excited.
That's a story and it's not people, these aren't strangers. These are people I know very well.
Dude.
And it's a story I'm excited to.
Yeah.
Well, they filmed a 40-minute video, so I'm excited to come in and not do a lot of work.
Right.
You know? I'm excited to just because I know I can make a movie out of it.
Right.
I know we can, and that's what they want.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for that. So, God willing, we got both those things next year.
Oh my God.
Coming back, we'll do another interview then, man.
That'll be amazing, man.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait, brother. Well, like I said, I won't keep you. Thank you so much,
Eric,
Matt.
thank
It is
you.
a pleasure,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you so much for having you back.
Always fun coming to these interviews with you, man.
We'll get you back to the show. And folks, we're going to get you back to the movie right here on Saturday Fright Theater. River Night is a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll be back soon.
Thank you.
You know what? Today, Hank asked me to come with you when you go. Don't you want me to go with you?
It isn't that, Juanita. It's just...
Well, I'm waiting.
When I first met you, I told you, I'm Jesse James. I'm an outlaw.
You are the outlaw. That I know. But you haven't told me. Do you want me to go with you?
There's your answer.
That is all I wanted to know. No, I can't not leave this place. I must not. But I had to know that you wanted me.
If that isn't just like a woman.
Please, do not be angry with me. You see, I must stay just as you must go.
Why must I go?
Because I do not trust the Frankensteins. They're wicked. They're terrible people. They will destroy you. They destroy our village and some of our boys. And they will destroy you and Hank. Promise. On my brother's grave. Please. Go. Someday, when things are different for you and me, you'll come back. I'll wait.
It's kind of hot inside. I thought I'd come out for a smoke.
Yes, it's nice out here.
It's kind of nice country. Why has everybody except Juanita gone away?
We are scientists. We make experiments. These people are ignorant. They do not understand, and they're frightened. So they've run away.
Seems like some of them didn't quite make it.
Ah, yes, Francisco. A sweet child. He became ill, but my brother and I could not save him. He was weak. Not like your friend Hank. Hank is improving.
Thanks to you and your brother. And Juanita.
He's doing even better than I'd hoped for.
How soon do you think we'll be able to leave?
I want to speak to you about that. I want you to stay.
I'm sorry. I made a promise that we'd leave as soon as Hank was well enough to travel.
A promise? To whom?
To myself, you might say.
It's lonesome out here and very difficult for us. We do not know how to cope with this wild country. Stay here. We need you. I need you. I'm on the verge of a great experiment, and I know I will succeed this time. I will build an empire here. I want you to share in everything. My experiments, my life.
How can I help you?
Rudolph is weak. I need you. I need your strength.
We leave as soon as Hank is well enough to travel.
I'm sorry I made a fool of myself. Good night, Mr. Howard. You're to find Jesse, Mr. Howard, and give him this envelope.
What is it?
You're to tell him it's a prescription for Hank, that he's taken a turn for the worse, and that we need this prescription to be filled.
But Hank is doing well. And Juanita knows it, and she sees Jesse all the time, especially at night.
So you've been snooping around as usual. Well, then you know. To think that this outlaw, with a price on his head, refused me for that girl. Yes, I've seen them together, too.
So what are you going to do, Maria? Nothing foolish, I hope. What is in this envelope?
I tell you what. It's a note to Jensen, the druggist in Shelby, telling him that the bearer is Jesse James, the outlaw, with a price on his head.
No, you mustn't. You mustn't.
Mustn't I? Why not? I would have turned him in before, only...
Only you wanted him for yourself. Why, you're jealous. You're human after all.
How dare you!
So I have to ride into Shelby to get some medicine for Hank. He's taking a turn for the worst.
What do you mean? When I saw him this evening, he was fine. Oh, they're sending you away to get rid of you.
Now, why would they try and get rid of me? Besides, if you're wrong, it cost Hank his life.
Jesse! Don't trust them. Especially Maria. Please, don't go.
I'll be back.
Jesse!
What you're going to do is insane.
We shall soon see which one of us is insane.
Besides, we should postpone this transplantation until he recovers from his gun wound.
He's recovered enough.
Maria, this is not the same as experimenting on one of the village children. Jesse James will kill us for what we are doing.
Jesse James will be caught and hanged in Shelby. Now get on with the operation.
Jesse.
While you finish preparing, I shall activate the artificial brain. The brain is ready.
Patient is ready.
Good. That dog! He always senses when we operate. I told you to muzzle him.
I forgot. I'm very upset, Maria. I haven't your nerves.
Go silence him.
Yes.
Now, at the next stroke of lightning, we shall have the answer.
Don't do it, Maria. You are going too far. No one should tamper with the laws of God.
You are no longer Hank Tracy. You are are evil. Do you understand me? Evil. That is how you will be known. I am Maria Frankenstein. As I think, you will think. We are one. I will command. You will obey. You will live as long as I will it. You will die when I command it. Remember, you're always under my control. You are now evil. I command you to arise. Igor, I am Maria Frankenstein. I created you. I command you to get up. Get up, Igor. Get the digitalis. We must save him. Let me have it.
No.
Why not?
Oh, we're wasting time.
So that's it. No! Igor! Save me! Igor, save me! Igor! Save me! He's alive! Alive! Get him, Igor! Get him! Get him!
Save me! Maria, sister! Save me!
You killed the others with this to keep me from succeeding with my experiments.
You have been flaunting God's will.
You did well, Igor. Come, I want Juanita.
Juanita.
Yes, Juanita.
Juanita. Juanita.
Come, Igor.
Juanita.
Hey there, folks. Eric William here at Genre Blast 7, and I tell you what, folks, it has been an amazing weekend. I mean, I've gotten to know so many people over the years, and this gentleman right here, I've run into Genre Blasts past, Horror Hotels past. Well, we go through. So, I tell you what, for the folks that aren't lucky enough to have been here, been there, and been anywhere, introduce yourself and tell them what brought you out here to Genre Blast. Sure, go ahead. Yeah, it's all you.
I am Chris Warner. I met this guy at the Horror Hotel Film Festival in, I'm going to say 2017.
Yeah.
I believe so. And I met a young man named Nathan Ludwig, and he was starting up a film festival called Genre Blast, and it was too late for me to submit that year, but I submitted the next year and got in. a screenplay called Vermin, a horror comedy. Giant pack of rats in a mall. Why not? And I've been coming back ever since. I've always really, really enjoyed Genre Blast. Just filmmakers, films, everything, every aspect of it. The people, it's my favorite.
And that's I think the beauty of it. Like you said, it's a little bit of everything for everybody, and it's Genre Blast. And you have won now. I don't know how many awards, but is it? But you keep submitting and you keep winning, and it's congratulations. If you can, tell us a little bit about some of the scripts that you had at this Genre Blast.
I had a script for a short called Bigfoot Bros, which was about a couple of guys from Boston looking for Bigfoot.
Amazing.
Which I think was just a little different take on what we normally see, because they had no idea what they were doing.
It was the best.
Thank you. Thanks very much. It was fun to make. It's really the first film I've ever made out of anything I've written, and it was fun to do that because working with John Devlin, my co-star, and Austin Griffin as the director and editor. My wife Kristen also helped out with a part there, a small part, and initially in the script we had Bigfoot show up on camera, but we all sort of got together all of a sudden and no Bigfoot, so we had to make some changes, but it works out a little better because they should never get Bigfoot on camera. Those two guys should never be successful. So that was one piece, one film piece, and one script. And then the other script I submitted was a TV in the TV webisode category. It was called Batman, and Robin, And it's a new take on the 1960s TV show. Okay. So we had a reading today, and it was some really, really fun scripts as a part of it. So it was great. Great to be a part of it.
And if I could talk a little bit about the Bigfoot Bros, it was probably one of my favorite shorts, just because the two guys, like you said, completely clueless, completely like the whole Boston thing. It was the one guy literally at one point. I don't want to talk too much away, but it's the prop that he uses as he's talking to the camera is. I just love the way he's using it, and then it's just, again, the fact that you don't get to see Bigfoot makes it all that much better. Yeah. Because if these guys actually found Bigfoot, you'd be like, wait a minute. Yeah. But that's, again, I laughed very, very hard at that one. That was great. It was a perfect one. And then in Batman and Robin, like you said, had a script read, and I've been hearing everybody talk about it, so it's fantastic. I'm glad you were able to get a script read, a table read at this. I think it brings a unique, perspective as a writer to hear people, kind of bring that as a read to it. Especially if it's a cold read, and it's tough. But so as a writer, did you hear anything? Did you see anything that made you want to add, subtract when you're during a read, something like that? What's that do for you as a writer?
Absolutely. I think the actors, especially some of them, are seeing the words for the first time, and sometimes you don't want that, but the actors that we have here are so good that I can trust their instincts a lot of the times. So it was really interesting for me to see how some lines that I thought were really killer just didn't quite land because they just didn't really become a part of the character as quickly as I thought they might. So it's great to have a reading. I mean, when I think a lot of writers have readings by ourselves, and we're just saying all the dialogue out loud to see how it sounds out loud. So to have it, said out loud by a professional, it just makes a big difference. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and there were some other scripts there that were just hilarious. It's really
that's the best. And there again, it's the best part about Genre Blast.
Really entertaining.
Is the group and the entertaining skits that you get from everybody. If you can talk a little bit about, now you said you're working on a feature next, or at least you're approaching something that in that direction. If you can, tell us a little bit about that and where that inspiration came from, because the title alone is is gold. But if you can, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, been working on a short film. I actually wrote a short screenplay a couple years ago, submitted here, and it's about a father and daughter who find a sea monster in their inflatable pool in the backyard. It's called Better Get Crackin', and I feel good about that. Thank you. And would like to make that as a short, but also I'm looking toward expanding that into a feature where a father and daughter would be looking for sea monsters and maybe a Bigfoot or other kinds of cryptids. So partly an excuse to spend some time with my daughter. I think she's at an age where dad is maybe less fun than he used to be, kind of thing. Right. So maybe we can have a good time this fall or early this summer working on it. But yeah, definitely something I'm looking toward expanding and having that theme of a father-daughter relationship and kind of the changes that it goes through at a certain age.
Well, and I'm excited to see where it comes and goes, because again, I know if it's coming from you, it's going to be gold. So I mean, let's just face it. Over the years, I have yet to be disappointed in anything that you've brought to the light. It's been anything that you were able to share. And if I see your name, I circle it on the program. We're going to watch it. We're going to do it, and we're going to make sure to be there.
Thank you so much.
So I mean, for the folks out there again that weren't lucky enough to be here and meet somebody like you, do you have websites, social media? How can they find out more about you, more about your work that you got out there?
I am on Instagram on Chris. It's Chris W Pix, Chris_W PIX. W_PIX. And that's probably the best way to just see what just basically take a lot of sunrise photos. But it's a way to get in touch with me and sort of see where it goes. I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff about Genre Blast. So got to do it. But I think it's just such a great place to meet people and find out about other people's work. And I'm always really touched and pleased with the amount of care that people put into asking questions, the amount of interest people have, just like I have in other people's projects. It's returned. So, I can't say enough good things about this place.
Well, I know I can't wait to see what's coming from you next. And, here's to next year, Genre Blast 8, possibly somewhere else in between. So I can't wait. And so we'll let you get back. Actually, we're almost ready to wrap up here at the Genre Blast After Party. So congratulations on your awards. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. And we'll get you back to Genre Blast. And folks, we're going to get you back to the show right here on Saturday Fright Theater, where every night's a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll be back soon.
She's gone. Probably with him. Well, good riddance to them both. But I still have you, Igor. Come.
What do you want?
I need some medicine. I'm sorry to bother you so early in the morning, but I got to have this medicine to get right back.
No. It's just that I haven't got the medicine handy. If you'll sit down and wait.
Will it take long?
No. Just sit there. I'll be right back with the medicine. All right, let's go. Shouldn't we wait till Sheriff Buchanan and the marshal get back?
No, I don't think so. They're not going to be back for hours. You see, Jensen, someone gave them a tip that they knew where Jesse James was hiding out. This guy you saw, what did he look like?
Medium tall, young, dark. Looked like he'd been riding a long way. I'll tell you something else. He looked plenty tough.
Jensen, you see this? This is made to take care of tough guys.
I don't want to get mixed up in any gunplay, especially not in my store. I'm a married man.
You're going to do exactly what I say and keep your mouth shut.
I still say I won't mix up in any gunplay. Jesse James, of all people.
Now, Jensen, you listen to me. There's $10,000 reward for Jesse James. I'm going to collect it, and you're going to help me.
What do you want me to do?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But I do want you to go back over there and make him up some kind of medicine. Anything. Just act like nothing happened. Now, don't be so nervous. You're liable to catch on.
What about you?
Don't you worry about me. I'll be there. And Jensen, I want you to listen to me and remember this. If anything goes wrong, I'm going to hold you personally responsible.
No.
How long is it going to take?
Well, not very long. I got to measure this, you know. I told you, Jason. I'd get nervous. Please, Jesse, don't shoot me.
How did you know my name?
Hold it.
Juanita.
I came to warn you. You must not go back.
What do you mean? Is Hank all right?
No, what they did to Hank, you can't believe it. It's terrible. If you go back, they do the same thing to you.
What are you talking about?
Hank is not Hank anymore.
I have to go back.
If you do, I go to the marshal at Shelby for help. I know what it'll mean if I bring him back with me. But I'd rather see you dead than see you looking like Hank.
I still have to go back to Hank.
I'm sorry, Jesse. I must do it. I love you too much not to. And that's the truth, Marshal. Please, Please believe me.
Too bad you didn't tell me about this when I came to your house.
I know. I was wrong. God, forgive me.
All right, let's go.
Thank you, Marshal.
That's enough, Igor. Quick, Igor, into the house. Get in there. Be quiet. If I need you, I will call you. Who is it? What do you want?
It's Jesse James. Open up.
I'm glad you're back.
No thanks to you.
Yes, I know what you're thinking. But it was Rudolph. He forced me to write that note.
I want to see Hank right now.
Well, Hank is not here. He and Rudolph left together.
I don't believe you.
I swear it.
All right, if you won't tell me where he is, I'll find him.
Why do you treat me like this when you know how I feel about you?
Right, I'll shake the truth out of you.
Igor!
Right, then I'll choke it out of you. Once and for all, what did you do to Hank? I want to know it.
Bring him in here. Put him on the table. Igor! Go to your room. Your room, Igor. Save your strength, Jesse James. You will need it. Yes. I knew who you were from the very first. You see, we have something in common. We're both outside the law. That's why I offered you a chance to join me. But you chose to refuse me. You, an outlaw, refusing me, Maria Frankenstein, granddaughter of a count. I will use you in my next experiment. You see, Jesse James, I have won after all.
Where's Hank? What have you done with him?
You will see Hank soon. Sweet dreams, Jesse James. Perhaps of Juanita. I've got work to do.
Perhaps it's better if she doesn't see me.
Doctor, Marshal McPhee.
I have nothing to say. Go away. I'm in the midst of an important experiment.
You wait just a minute. I want to talk to you.
About what?
I've been told you're harboring Jesse James and Hank Tracy.
Who told you such a lie?
Juanita Lopez.
Juanita Lopez. I'm surprised that you're Marshal listening to an ignorant peasant.
Well, just the same, I intend to search this place.
Well, search all you care to. I'll show you around myself.
Well, that's just exactly what I'm gonna do.
Well, shall we start with my laboratory?
Well, Jesse, finally caught up with you.
Igor!
What did you say?
Nothing.
Jesse! What have they done to you? Jesse!
Igor! Come here! Quick! Get her, Igor. Get Juanita. Juanita.
Juanita?
Kill Juanita. Kill her. Kill Juanita. Jesse! Jesse!
Juanita.
No! Please!
Kill.
It's me, Jesse, Hank.
Kill.
No. Hank, it's me, Jesse James, your friend. Hank? Hank, don't make me kill you.
Oh, Jesse! I thought he would kill you.
Juanita. Juanita.
Oh, Jesse. Our village is free once more, thanks to you. And Hank, my people will come back here. Jesse, I will be waiting for you here.
No, Juanita. Look, I am an outlaw with a rope waiting for me.
That's not what I want to hear.
love you, Juanita.
Vaya con Dios. Te amo, mi vida. Go with God.
Hey there, folks. Eric William here at Genre Blast, and I'm here with the architects. I just looked over and saw the face. It was awesome. There we go. Here's another one.
I gave you the wrong car.
Okay. I'll give you the right card.
Look at Chad interrupting our interview.
No, that's all right.
Do you want to sit with us?
You want to sit here? Sure.
Jump in. Jump in.
Squeeze that sweet ass in here.
Squeeze Joe.
Put your bony little ass in here.
What she said.
Get
Look
that-
at this.
Oh,
shit!
Stepped on my
Oh my God.
I've drank too much. I'm sorry.
You're a little wider than I thought you were.
I got a wide ass.
That's what she
Yeah,
said.
you do.
That's what she said.
Guys, thank you so much for everything. Genre Blast is always one of the best, if not the best festival. This is circled on my calendar. It's like you said, it's a vacation, it's a getaway, it's everything I want my Labor Day weekends to be. I can't thank you enough for everything. I'm just gonna turn it over to you guys. For the folks that are watching this that aren't lucky enough, obviously these guys here are the brains, the beauties, and everything behind the Genre Blasts. And in fantastic movies, as in Genre Blast films now.
Yeah.
I mean, Worst Laid Plans, amazing.
And books coming as well.
I was going to say the books.
We're hoping, yes.
You
Got to make as much
so
stuff
many
as we can
things.
before we drop dead.
From making too much stuff.
Get senile or dementia or whatever.
Well, the
Right. When
beauty
that
of
sets in.
Genre Blast Films is really made. It's Nate's baby, but it's made with people we've met through Genre Blast. It's all people that have been here and submitted work here, and people we've met and really clicked with, and it's really cool to see. Like it's literally just from this festival.
And that's what I think is so cool. Like, there's been so many people that I've seen at other festivals that have made things together, and then you find out it's because they met at Genre Blast.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, it's something that is kind of cool. It's such a family and such a connection and such a network of people.
It's a good community, and I think it's probably intimidating at this point, and I only realized this year. It might be a little intimidating for newcomers because they're probably like, oh, holy shit.
Well,
they all know each other, and it's like, well, we only know each other because they've been coming to Genre Blast. So once you come for the first year, like, your family.
Yeah, we add to the family every year,
and we want you to come back.
Yes.
And it's awesome.
That's the beauty of it too, because literally I talked to somebody that was just their first time here, and he was a little intimidated, just like you said, which I was like, really? Why?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, think about if you're like, I know we're all married, but if you're dating somebody and you meet their family for the first time, you're like, where do I fit in?
Right.
And that's kind of, how people feel when they come here for the first time. But we're pretty quick to draw you in and try to make you feel like you're part of the team.
And you do that so well. I mean, honestly, so well. Thank you. And I let's talk now a little bit about then, Worst Laid Plans. Let's pass it down, guys. Tell us a little bit about the brainchild behind this. Obviously, was the connections with everybody here. With Genre Blast Films, it was your baby. What made you want to finally say, you know what, it's time to do this? I'm going to pass it on down.
Well, it's kind of funny that you say baby, because we started Genre Blast right before my first baby girl was born.
Yeah.
Sweet old Georgie.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was kind of at a point in my life where, like, I was very frustrated with screenwriting. I was very frustrated with filmmaking. And I consider myself to be a pretty good writer, but I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I'm so confused right now. And Chad was in the same boat as me, where we knew we have talents,
you're fine.
We love movies
That's
so
fine.
much. We have an encyclopedic knowledge of movies, and we had been to film festivals before. We've been to good ones, bad ones, and different ones. And we kind of had an idea. We kind of sat down one day and was like, what would we do if we ran a film festival? What would that be like? And, we had a baby on the way, and I was like, I got to make something happen. Like, important happen to make myself feel fulfilled in some way. So I got a kid on the way, and it's just like, I got to feel like I'm doing something useful. And we started Genre Blast, and, in 2015, we started taking submissions in 2015. And we had an opening for a theater in Culpeper, Virginia.
Culpeper, Virginia.
They had a newly remodeled.
Remember that?
They had a newly remodeled state theater that had been around since like Gone with the Wind. Like 1939 or whatever. And they had just remodeled it, refurbished it, a big, huge, like 400-seat movie theater. It was gigantic with digital projection.
Yeah.
And
It's
so
all
I
Art Deco.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Really cool. So we were able to slide on in there. I was able to convince them to do a film festival. And I think they were a little leery at first as to like what our intentions were, or if it was going to be any good. And it ended up being good. People were walking up to us and going, "Hey, well, no, don't like lie to us. How long has this festival been around? Was it like in a different name or a different location before? Because it feels like a 5 or 10 year festival." People kept coming up to us like, just because we know what we want. We know how to run it. We know how to treat people
They knew
with
what
respect.
they wanted, and I knew how to make things look good.
Yep.
And I feel like we just were able.
We program
to
the movies, and she
bring
makes
it
it
all
look
together
good.
really well.
Yeah.
And even it was our first year. People thought, like Nate just said, that we'd been around for a while, and we hadn't. So.
And I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, a film festival? Like, okay, that's kind of dumb, but whatever you want to do." But then when it happened, people were like, "Okay, well, you're serious about this. Right? You're not messing around. We'll support you." So, unfortunately, we were the last event to run at that theater. They shut down because they mismanaged their funds.
Oh.
And literally the day after Genre Blast, they put out a press release and said we're closed. Right under the skin of our teeth. And so I'm sitting there in my office going like, well, I'm glad we got in, but now what do? We don't have a venue. Like, so.
And Nate went out and found the Alamo here in Winchester.
Well, I looked around Richmond first because I wanted it somewhere to be where I live outside of Richmond. So I looked at a couple theaters. They were being wishy-washy, or they wouldn't get back to me. Like, well, you can do it on Friday and Sunday, but we you can't be here on Saturday. I'm like, well, that sounds terrible, right? So when I went to the big theater chains, they weren't interested. So I remember going to the Alamo Draft House with Chad to Fantastic Fest in 2014, which is a fantastic film festival. It plays all the best genre films like we do, right, from all over the world. And I was like, why don't I just go ask the Alamo? I was like, there's an Alamo in Winchester, I think, because I had never been there before. And I just called him up and I said, hey, look, this is going to be weird, but we just had our first successful film festival year. Can I come out and talk to you about possibly doing, Genre Blast at the Alamo? And, I came up and met them, and they were honest with me. They were a little reticent about this. We've had a couple festivals be here before, and they weren't very good. The festival owners weren't very good, and they were scared to kind of,
I feel like, can I tell you what they did? So we had our first festival here, which was our second year. And, Andy at the time was our contact here, who was awesome, and I'm sure most people remember him. But he, after we closed and wrapped on Sunday, we saw him out on the sidewalk, and he goes, "Genre Blast for life!" And we were like, I guess we're invited back.
Does that mean we're in?
So,
I think I remember that.
Yeah, he did. He screamed it from the sidewalk out there at 11 o'clock at night, and we were like, all right. I guess
that's a good sign.
I guess that's the stamp of approval, and so we've been here ever since.
Yeah.
But there's been some ups and downs.
Well, I guess everybody has ups and downs, but that's you guys.
Yeah.
But I think you don't let it affect you, and the filmmakers don't feel that. You know what I mean? They feel at home, and it's really, really amazing the feeling that you have here because it's a family. I mean, it is. It's literally like you said. The people that are the first timers, they'll come back because they've already said. They've already got it circled on their calendar for next year. Yeah. Even if, and the best part is, they're like, I don't know if I'll have anything to submit, but I'm coming back.
We've definitely had a lot of people come that loved it so much and didn't even submit anything.
Right.
So that's awesome. And I've heard a big thing is people love that the hotels are right here.
I was going to say, that's the other thing. It's like you go to some festivals.
They don't have to waste money on cab rides and Ubers. Like
Yeah.
they can just walk back and forth. They can go take a nap.
Yep.
They can go just decompress for a minute and come back. And I think that's huge. Is that people have that freedom where
Just
I think a lot of places they really don't get that.
They don't get that. No. It's or that it's in a really bad hotel and that you don't want to. That you need to go somewhere else to decompress.
So, what were your thoughts when we first started this? What what was on your mind about just watching all these movies?
Just shove it in there.
I guess my thing was the variety. You know, because Nathan, he likes the Asian action, the kind of like the weird, quirky stuff, the odd stuff. I like the exploitation, extreme horror, extreme violence.
Horror comedy.
Raygan right here is horror comedy, and I think that's what maybe is the appeal for most people, because I've got that compliment a lot. You know, and me and Nathan, he trusts. He may not like what I watch, but he trusts me, and the same goes for him. I may not like what he watched, but I kind of see why somebody else would like it. And it's the same thing with Nathan, and I think it's the same thing with Raygan. She may not like it, but
I can appreciate.
But she can appreciate it. We appreciate each other. So I think that's what I first noticed when we started doing this. Is we have
we each have our own sweet spot.
Yeah, I first noticed everybody liked the variety of it, and so I think that's what makes us work.
It 100%. I think it is. It's the variety. It's the welcomeness. It's everything. Literally.
Yeah.
Like you said, you guys program the hell of a show. You make it look fantastic. It's it's the merch. It's the feel. Like you said, 7 years. It's incredible. Going on. I'm looking forward to it. So literally, you're creeping on your first decade almost, and it's hard to think about that. But it feels like you've been doing this for decades. That's the best part of this. It feels like it's just smooth as silk, and I thank you so much for doing it. It's amazing. It's a home. It's a little place to come down to.
It is.
And we have to say it's partly our relationship with the Alamo and how.
Are you interviewing her? Or is he interviewing her?
I'm giving her the mic.
How awesome Joe is upstairs, and Eric and the whole crew here that communicate with us, and down to like 5 minutes before a screening we could be like, oh hey, we're gonna change this, or here's the awards presentation 10 minutes before we're doing it. Like they're just so easygoing and accommodating.
That's cool.
Yes.
And they're awesome.
That's very good. That's awesome. That's just so I tell you what, as far as now you got the festival, you get a little bit of a break I guess for festivals, but now you've got Genre Blast Films going, so that's ongoing. So you're going right into the finishing touches on this.
Well, I'm very happy that we done it this year. The year before we had like over 1,200 submissions, and reason being is as soon as we were over, we started right back up at it. But this year we waited up until January, and I think that's what we're going to do again this year, right, Nathan?
I have no idea what we're going to do right now.
It's not going to be tomorrow.
Nate's like, I'm going to wait until tomorrow to make that choice.
I've had a bubble gum, I've had a Johnny Z, and I've had a Words Laid Plans.
Oh my goodness!
Right now, I'm just stewing in my own
you're
juices.
just.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm hoping we have a couple of months of downtime before we get back at it.
And I've had 4 of these things.
I'll probably open submissions sometime soon and just leave it. And then when we're ready to go into it, just get to it.
Because we still have to you still have to internalize everything you've watched, everybody you've talked to, all the people you've met.
I mean, it's a big weekend. It's almost like a reverse wedding. I keep telling people that. It's
it really
is.
is. And a much longer wedding. And so then to throw yourself right back into just all this new material is so...
And a lot happens over the weekend. We meet new people as well as seeing old people again. And it's a lot to process. So, I spend the next week decompressing, thinking about what we did and what we accomplished. And we had a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, this festival is so amazing." The first year, we were very surprised. We were getting standing ovations at the award ceremony for putting on a good fest, and people keep coming up to you. And after a while, it's very nice, but after a while, you're like, "Yes, I get it. Right, let's talk about something else."
I'm uncomfortable now.
Stop it.
Let's just move
We
on.
really don't do anything weird or different.
We really don't. All we do is care.
Yeah,
we give a
just care.
shit.
We pay attention.
All we do is give a shit.
And we just work hard when it's time to work hard.
And me and Nathan we're a wealth of information on.
They really are
on movies.
They remember everything.
That's the best part, right?
I remember nothing.
I think that's what I love about it too. Is you come in and you can sit there and you can talk movies with somebody, and it's just like picking up from with your best friends that you just it may have been a year since we've seen each other, but it feels like it's it was just yesterday, and now here we're hanging out watching another movie. Absolutely, that's such a great.
We didn't get to tailgate in the parking lot of the whatever that hotel was.
And
And eat burgers from the back of your truck.
Yeah, I was going to say there's been done the tailgate a time or two, so there may or may not be.
We might have a tailgate next year.
I was going to say, hey,
tailgate karaoke.
That might have to be our after party. Will be tailgate karaoke.
Tailgate karaoke. It's on the. Just put it on the phone. We got it.
I like it.
It's done. So
Maybe a little appearance from Truck Squatch.
Truck Squatch. Does he have the Truck Squatch thing?
No.
Oh.
But we could tell him to bring it next time.
What a tease.
That was I was going to say. I got all excited. I thought he was going to.
That's exciting.
But well, guys, I thank you so much. I think things are literally finally getting ready to wrap up here.
Yeah.
I'll let you go. Thank you again so much.
Well, thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
This is how many years in a row you've done this now?
6.
6 years in a row now.
Yeah.
I did miss the 1 year out of but
COVID.
Thank you for coming out here and doing it with us.
I went to Horror
and giving us
Hotel and I told him to
exposure.
come.
Yep.
And Christina and Ray were here the first year that you were here.
Yeah.
And then you kept coming.
Yeah, I'm like I cannot. Yeah, I can't get enough of this. This is literally, like I said, I was telling you the first night. I said this is. I was so excited. This was my first time I actually got to be here on a Thursday night. I couldn't believe that. So and now I'm hooked, man. It's awesome. I'll either be dead or I don't know. Who knows?
Well, that's the funny thing is people assume Thursday is like a throwaway.
No.
Like that's Thursday. It starts Thursday, but there's nothing you want to watch.
It's
was still so good.
So good. Yeah. It's every night. That's literally the first thing I met. It was actually one of the first timers from here. I met at Horror Hotel. And he's like, dude, it's only Thursday night. He goes, I can't believe there's 3 more nights of this. I said, yeah, buckle up, buddy. And that was before Bubblegum and Gouge Away. And he was blown away. I mean, it was amazing. What a program. I mean, it was just, again, phenomenal. Let's get you guys out of here because I know you're drained, so we got to go finish some more beverages. And
a little drink of Lincoln.
Yes.
Chad's going to stay up for 4 hours.
No, Chad's going to bed.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck. Guys, thank you so much here. Thanks so much for joining us with tonight's movie. Tonight's movie, we actually were planning to show Jesse James meets Frankenstein's daughter, so that was on here. So
my favorite.
If you've watched it, fantastic. If not, you watch the interviews. That's good.
You missed something.
So we will let you get out, and it looks like we're literally getting kicked out. So, folks, thanks for joining us here on the show. Thanks for joining us at Genre Blast. We will see you next time right here on Saturday Fright Theater. Every night is a frightful night when you're watching a movie. We'll see you next time.